Welcome gamers to the 4th installment of Darksiders series with Darksiders Genesis. We finally get to play as the 4th horseman, Strife, but he will have a vicious companion along for the ride. This is the first time in the series to feature a co-op mode with you and a buddy playing as both Strife and War. This is the new prequel bringing the story together in Darksiders Genesis. As said before, this is a prequel to the series where we learn more of the Horseman's story. This time the Council has a new mission for Strife and War. Their target is Lucifer himself, who is trying to mess with the balance. It is up to us to find out the big plan, even working with some unsavory demons and angels. What is there to learn from the interaction between Strife and War? That is the imperative question. Darksiders Genesis is under the category of top-down hack and slash. This gives you a wide view of the map as hordes of enemies will come at you in all directions. I guess this was a better choice than the previous titles, which were all third-person views. You will have the option of going in solo, which you can switch between Strife and War at will by holding down the LB button and pressing A. Yes, this game is on the PC only right now, and I am currently playing on GeForce now. While solo, there will be a full range of exploration and puzzle solving, of course. Strife and War have their own special abilities that will help you navigate through these levels. Strife is definitely more ranged with his dual pistols that have two different firing methods. You can aim by using the right analog stick and hitting the L trigger. RB lets you use your secondary fire. Now this is where my colleague Damien would say this is where you get the big damage numbers, as your second ability can be switched to other firing methods on the ability's wheel. As you use your weapon against the horde of enemies, you will also unlock a meter ability that will grant you rapid fire for a short period of time. I kinda call it the unlocking potential for Strife. He is the wise ass of the horsemen, seems to have the most empathy for what he is doing, which is great character development. Besides the abilities wheel, you can also hold down LB for other skills that will be used with X, Y, and B buttons. I call these the crowd pleasers, as they do area damage for when you are in a mosh pit of demons. Both Strife and War will have access to this, as well as their own unique key buttons on the D-pad. Now they will both have the clutch claw feature to grab items from a distance or enemies to get them in close, but that is for later discussion. This beast is all about punching things, so we are going to switch to my buddy War. War is not that complicated. He gets in close and deals massive damage with his sword. I mostly concentrated my efforts on War at the time, unlocking many of his devastating abilities. War can harness the elements in a sense, as he unlocks electric, earth, vampiric, flame, and death abilities. Strife can as well, but in a different way. War is all about punishment, and my favorite abilities so far are the vampiric, flame, and death features. He can cause all enemies to explode, which causes a chain reaction with his death blight, or if you are running out of health, you can switch to your vampiric abilities to cut the life force out of your enemies. Flame can go into a spin attack that is good for crowd control. It's just good big damage destruction at your fingertips. You gotta love that. You can use light and heavy attacks with War. Strife has more melee attack with X, and of course his trigger button for his guns. Keep in mind, Strife can run out of ammo, but do not fret, because as you decimate many enemies out there, they do have drops of health, ammo, and meter, which is yellow skulls, so keep that in mind. I also realized that War seems to have the most moves, since he has a block feature that can also parry attacks. Time it right and you can make an enemy stagger. But they both have a nifty grab feature that goes into a fun kill animation I appreciate the most. It is satisfying to watch. Even though you are solo, you are still not fighting alone. But if you really want to try that co-op feel, you can head on over to these purple pillars and either join or invite a friend into your game. Luckily enough, my boy Damien wants to play as Strife and I could stick with War. But you can switch between the two at any time as long as your buddy agrees. This also brings a whole new cooperative method to the puzzle system, which is quite cool. You would think that it would stay the same, but no, the puzzles become more challenging and more cooperative as you go through each level. At first, it was just, they didn't make it too complicated with the single player area. Like, you'll have one jump pad, you'll have one way to open up a door. But now, with the co-op feature, you'll have to use teamwork to unlock each area. And I can appreciate that. Oh, I also failed to mention that you also get a horse. Yes, War and Strife have their fast-traveling horses of destruction. Once you hold down the RB and LB and hit them at the same time, you can summon your horse, but it's only in certain areas. If you see this big pulsating circle, your horse will just explode out of nowhere, but you can always resummon it once you get out the area. You pretty much help each other build, and you can revisit previous levels to solve other puzzles or progress in other areas that you could not get to before. This brings the replay value up to a nice level. I failed to mention one amazing thing, your ultimate move. This is the last resort combo button which changes Strife and War into a godlike being. If you hit the LB and R trigger, you will unleash your kaiju form, where we are invincible for a short amount of time. Usually use this on boss fights, but at times we find it just cool to look at. You will have a skill tree to amplify both characters, with each piece being able to level up. This gives it that RPG feature, as you need to match the correct symbols to get the higher stats, but not totally necessary. The cores will be dropped at times during certain enemy kills, and they also level up each other. So instead of just keep on getting duplicates, they'll just level up that same core, which is pretty cool, so you don't have to worry about it too much. And if you're too impatient, you can also buy cores from Volgrim in the Void area. And this is why the grinding portion is important. To level up, you will need souls, Boatman coins, which are scattered throughout each level. Luckily enough, it won't be that hard, but this is why you will explore every crevice of each level. And once you do, you'll head up to the Void, where you can purchase your upgrades and items from Volgrim and the thick, hotness, luscious Demon Dis, who will have other combo abilities for you to unlock. Oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. Look at this one.
Damn.
That's a sexy looking demon right there with the forearms. Okay, I digress. I'm moving on. To grind even further, you have the arena option, which will open up more levels as you progress. You can obtain other cores and souls in the horde mode setting. Definitely fun to play with a buddy or tackle it solo. Also, I failed to mention earlier, if you do not get downed, your enemy can revive you. Check this out. But if you play solo, there will be a cooldown before your partner can join the fight again to switch to. I believe it's 14 seconds solo and 5 seconds in co-op if your buddy doesn't get you in time. Watch your health and use the dodge feature, which is the left trigger. Yeah, it comes in handy, trust me. Darksiders Genesis gives you that feel that the artist worked on each character and detail. They had fun with this. You could tell the detail in each level, especially each cutscene where it triggers panoramic view of the board, and Strife and War are talking to one another. It's a fun interaction. You can just tell the developers and the artists had a lot of fun with this game, and they wanted to give us a nice experience, just like every other Darksiders title. And let's not forget the music score. Oh my god, the music and the sound design were all done very well. Between the epic battle music, the sound effects when you destroy an enemy, hearing the slimy sounds of the bugs and scarabs coming out of the ground, the snarls from the ghouls and demons, it's just all great, especially when you grab an enemy for the animation kill and you hear the sound effects, either the gun barrel blasting or War's sword just digging into the enemies. It's just all well done and gives you that immersive feel, and I am stoked. I'm just stoked. As beautiful as this game is and fun, there are some issues that I was a bit at a co-op agreement with my buddy. There are times where the game will glitch. Nothing game breaking as of yet that I noticed. There were times where certain items would glitch and look like it is stuck on us in our hands, like the spiked bomb balls. Other incidences where enemies that we have killed will stay suspended in air, stuck in a statue position. It's awkward, and sometimes the animation of my attacks will be stuck in the air for a momentary time and just disappear. Usually before that, it will just, go across the map or just disappear as this, a distance effect. But it will just stay there and stuck in animation, like stuttering, and then disappear. In this area, you will see that I raged as we found a secret area for a chest, an epic chest, and the platforming feature is not the best. I can't stand this type of platforming. It kills my nerves. It makes me aggravated, especially when whoever designed this decided to make the squares even smaller to make it even more difficult. I should have switched with my buddy to use Strife while he's stuck over there, because we can't open up the chest unless both parties are there together. And since this platform was being so difficult, I just gave up and said, we're going to come back to this later, because that is stupid and frustrating. So whoever designed that, all I have to say is, why are you the way you are? That was just wrong. You sadistic person. At the end of the day, with all the replay value, great co-op feature, and continuing the story of the Darksiders series, I have to give Darksiders Genesis a definite buy. It is affordable and gives you a full-length game that keeps you going. Between the banter of strife and war, especially finding the deep connection of their backstory makes this a full-on experience that fans and newcomers can enjoy. Now that they do have 4 games out, you can play in certain order. Genesis would be the first, then Darksiders 3, I would assume Darksiders 2, and finally Darksiders 1, which is kind of the in-between. I do welcome any corrections to the timeline because I would like to learn. Darksiders Genesis is available now for both Steam Marketplace and Google Stadia for $39.99, and will be coming to all consoles next year in 2020. And in that, I would like to say, I hope you all enjoyed this review. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to keep on notifying, because we are releasing videos each week. And a special thanks to all that subscribed and supported the channel all throughout 2019. I will see you all in 2020 with more content, more funny videos, and of course more gameplay. And in that,
as always, Beast out.
I guess we've been